Well, we're back in the shop again this week. Still working the bugs out of that old Beezer there, the 650 Lightning. It's getting really close though. I can take it out and confidently drive around on it now. At least I think so. Let's see what happens. A lot of traffic on the road these days. Probably double what it was 5 years ago. Alright, let's see if we can make a video here of the tail end of the test drive. Already been out but I had the camera pointed the wrong way. Not my jacket. Show you the clutch doesn't slip anymore. There was something that came up late last week. I think it might have been Friday evening or maybe Saturday. Anyway, the bike was still not taking its fuel when the engine was not completely warmed up. And it was starting to really bother me. So I was thinking about what could I do. I thought maybe I could, put the needles in the notch and carve one more little groove to put the clip in to bring the needle up that much higher, but currently the needles in the mixing chamber slide are in the highest position, so they're set up right now to take the maximum amount of fuel without me fiddling with it, and I didn't really want to fiddle with the needle notches anymore. But I did decide to have a look down in here at the needle jets. What I discovered was that the Wassel needle jet in there is a few thousandths of an inch smaller in the bore diameter than the Amel ones. So what I did, I've just stuck this together to show you what I've got here. This is an old Amel needle jet. They look exactly like the Wassel ones, but when you go, I use these drills, these numbered drills as gauges sometimes for this sort of thing. By the way, don't ever put the sharp end of a drill into a jet. It's not good practice because you can really oversize those jets before you even know what's going on. But that's a number 37 drill. The shank of that drill will just pass through the bore on that Amel jet. On the Wassel jet, the 37 would not pass through the hole, so it's definitely smaller. These drills, by the way, they're only about 4 thousandths of an inch between each one, so they're very, very close to being very nearly the same as each other. And of course, the higher the number, the smaller drills. And you can even get a smaller kit that goes from 60 all the way up to a much higher number. Very tiny little drills, the kind you can make your own oval jets with if you ever need to. But anyway, so 37 drill bit fits through the Amel ones, wouldn't fit through the Wassel, so I swapped out the Wassel for an Amel one, and all my fuel problems went away. Suddenly the bike will take its fuel right from the beginning, right from startup. It will still take its fuel at that when you go to snap the throttle open, where it would not before. You'd had to wait till the engine was pretty much completely warmed up before it would take its gas. But now it's quite well behaved and quite drivable. I'm still gonna put the chokes in these carburetors because I have a feeling that when the weather starts to cool down, it's still gonna need the chokes for easier starting and running when the engine's cold. But meanwhile, that's what I've done. And while I've got these out, there are differences in the early Amel carbs where the needle jet and the needle are concerned. The later type jets have a hole in the side. You can see that hole right there. That's to allow air to enter through that hole and mix in with the fuel coming in through the needle, and it makes for a better fuel spray going down the carb. So the earlier ones did not have that hole in them, and if you look at the top, there is no recess in the top of these jets like there is in this one. Here, I'll try to hold them up at the same time, and you can see the difference in them. Like this one, the one on the left there has a much deeper opening. The hole size is the same, but it's way down in there, like probably almost 1/4 of an inch down in there. Where this one, the hole is right there. And if you have a carburetor with these type of jets in them, you can still use them. They do work well, but the needle that you would use for this jet right here is quite a bit shorter than the standard needle. It's about 1/4 inch or so shorter than this one. So you can't interchange the needles. If you have the early type of needle jet, you have to have the early type needle, the shorter one. If you have the later type needle jet, like this one here, with the hole in it, then you need the longer one, which is this length here. I should have got a short needle out so you could see that too. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. So that's what I had to get up to change that. So, like I say, these Wassel carburetors, they're a nice looking unit. They're pretty much an exact copy of the amyl carburetor, amyl concentric. And they have the stay-up floats with the stainless steel tab on them, so you can easily change float levels if you want to. You shouldn't. You shouldn't need to, but in any case, I think the main difference between the Wassel carburetor and the amyl one, other than having a different name on the side of it, is quality control. So my advice to you is, if you're using or planning on buying a set of Wassel carburetors, go ahead and get them. They're pretty good. But I would highly suggest, highly recommend that you change all your jets and needles, including the idle air adjustment screw. Change all those over to amyl, and then you shouldn't have any problems using that Wassel carburetor. And oh yes, also change the float needle too. They're just not quite up to amyl standards. Well, I just got back from another little test drive on that thing. It's working just about as perfect as an old BSA can work. It's a little bit clattery sounding, but that's to be expected with an older engine that hasn't been rebuilt in quite some time. But it's not burning oil. It runs well. Doesn't make any really odd noises. Just your typical BSA noises. And yeah, as soon as next week rolls around, I figure Monday or Tuesday I should get those parts I need to put the chokes in. I'll put the chokes in it then and take it for another drive or two, and it'll probably be ready to go back to Mike after that. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a good learning curve too. It's nice when you work on something and you actually learn something. So yeah, next week we'll see whether she's ready to go home or not. And, anyway, we'll put that up next week. So be good to each other. We'll see you next time.